Hey everybody, welcome back to Frostbite Garage. Today on the channel we're back working on the 53 Chevy. If you remember from last week we did the intake and exhaust system. For this time our fuel tank came in, so we're gonna get our new fuel tank installed. Get that taken care of. We're gonna do a tune-up because we don't know how old this stuff is. It runs, but we're getting it ready for driving this summer. So we're gonna do a little tune-up, finish up the fuel system so it should be running and driving, and maybe clean up the interior a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Stay tuned. All right, as I said, we're back here working on the 53. I don't know how this is gonna come together. I was gone for a little while, so Nick did some work on his own. But he got some stuff cleaned up under the hood. He got that fender over there, the POR 51 on that. Got the radiator cleaned up. Took this plate off, he's painting that. On the interior, like I said, we got a new fuel tank here. Right there will be going in. He got the seats removed.
That took way too much time. But now, we just gotta undo that there sending unit and that there filler line. And we'll get it out of there. Alright guys, well, I got that fuel tank out of there by myself. That was entertaining. Didn't want to come out at first, but here's a first look at 70 years. Looks like we got some stuff back there, not sure what it is. I guess we'll check it out before we vacuum it up. Make sure there's nothing good. Let's see what's hiding back here. Monopoly money, it looks like. Play money. Of course, it's not real money. Why would it be real money?
You got the floor all treated in here where the fuel tank goes. The POR 15.
Well, good morning. Welcome back to Frostbite Garage. Did a little bit more work in here, trying to get ready for the new fuel tank. Did some prepping. Trying to finish off my last little bit of POR. Got that all cleaned up. Turned out nice. Stop all that rust in the future, we hope. Got most of the brackets painted. Got the inside portion to do. I'm not dripping all over the place and making it look like garbage. But POR is a great product. I'll show you a picture, but it's literally POR 15, and it's a rust encapsulator, I believe. And you can paint it right here, right on this. Once you've metal prepped the surface, goes on pretty easy. Always remember you're going to be getting rid of your paint brushes when you're done, so don't bother using nice ones. Get the cheapest ones you can get with bristles that won't fall out, and they work absolutely wonderful. So I'll be back shortly and we'll show you how the rest of this turns out. And we'll get that fuel tank in there as soon as I get an extra set of hands.
Probably put some sound deadening on this back wall here. It's kind of tinny. Make it a little quieter in here. Maybe some on the floor as well. We'll be working on that. We'll get that taken care of before the fuel tank goes in. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're back in here. Gonna put the fuel tank in. We got some of this sound deadener stuff that we're gonna put on the back wall. Help insulate it and cut down on the noise. Getting installing that. All right, so we got the sound deadener up against the wall in the bottom where the tank's gonna go. Now we're gonna get ready to drop the tank in and get her situated in here. All right, so I'm gonna reinstall this new tank.
Ready to put her in?
Yep. Alrighty, we're gonna start by doing the tune-up on this thing. I already numbered all the wires, so all I'm gonna do just pop the cap off, is unplug all the wires, pull it off. They're all numbered, so we'll just go back with a new one. Same way it came off. Coil wire broke, came apart. So maybe it'll run like 2 times better now. And then we'll pop out all the plugs. They're all just running a little rich.
What'd you just call me?
But other than that, look good. And just grab the rotors, pointing towards the back. So usually you only go on one way. But this one looks fairly new. We'll probably keep it around for a spare. All right, so we're gonna remove this coil too because it looks like crap. And we got an MSD blaster coil because high performance is what you do. I need a little wrench.
Like a 1/2 inch?
No, 3/8. If my Eagle Eye.
See if that one fits.
What size is that?
1/2 inch.
That's way too big. Look.
Oh, you're looking at that one. Sorry. I thought you
Yeah.
were looking at
Oh, I guess, yeah. That'll
the
work for
block.
those.
I thought you were looking at the block. Here, let me get you the right size for those other ones. There you go.
Oh, the Robo Grip. That'll work.
It's electrical. It shouldn't be torqued.
You torque all your electrical to 100 foot-pounds, I thought. So spark doesn't jump out.
I'm gonna disconnect the battery.
You haven't disconnected the battery?
Probably be a good idea.
What's wrong with you?
I like giving you excitement with your old age.
Who you calling old? I'm not old. We'll pop this coil off, clean off the bracket, and
Yep,
behind
side
it.
of the block, maybe.
Yeah, probably clean it up a little bit. Alright. We got the coil off. We'll go ahead and clean off these bolts and this bracket.
Side
Hopefully,
of the block.
the slide, that stuff there too. And then put the new coil on. Hopefully it fits in this bracket. I think it might be a little bigger. We'll see. But it's red, so you know, that's like 10 horsepower this girl needs. Shit out of here.
Get this shit out.
All right, so we got new plugs. These have a crush washer on them. A lot of newer vehicles don't use them. They have a tapered seat. So on these, usually go till they touch and do about a quarter turn or so till it feels good.
Snug but tight.
Nick missed the spot.
Oh, did I?
Well, I guess the valve cover's coming off. It doesn't really. Kind of on the valve cover. So we're probably gonna pull in the valve cover too. We got a new valve cover gasket. We're gonna check the lash on some of the valves, make sure they're all right. One of the reasons we bought one. And then on these, there's usually a notch on every cap. No matter what, there's always a notch where it goes where. On this one, it's right here. There's a notch and distributor right at this top clamp here. When you put it on there, you can see it locks it in. If you're off, it'll spin like that. If you didn't know, you just put it on spin, and you should feel it fall right into place right there. So, got our new rotor button here. Make sure to drop that on there. And that's the same way. There's a notch in here that'll notch on with the shaft. Just put it on there, make sure it's good. Get your cap back on here. We've got our new plug wires. Like I said, if you knew where that notch was right here, so it went this way. And this one right here is number 1. So as it sits like this, it's right here to here is number 1. And they're all you can see there's 2 short ones. These are the 2 short ones. So this will be cylinders 3 and 4. You can adjust the length, and you see that these are all relatively the same length. They're all the same. So
gotta go.
Got 4 long ones, 2 short ones. This will be number 1 here. All right, so we got the plug wires in there. We're waiting for the coil bracket to dry because Nick had to paint it, and we'll get the coil in there and do some wiring. Probably pull the valve cover off too, so we can paint that because Nick's in a painting mood today. So we've got a ballast resistor here we're gonna wire in. It's actually an AC Delco. I don't know which part number, but it's 19017084. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, we'll show you, but right here is like perfectly shaped for it. We got it's like it's perfectly made for a resistor right there. So we'll be wiring that in. More than likely what happened is it was converted from 6 to 12 volts. And they never put the resistor in because the other 6-volt system, you wouldn't need it. But 12 volts is too much for the points. You don't want to burn them up. So we'll be wiring this in.
It's gonna get any tighter.
There you go. Just like that. And the wire, positive, will still reach right there. Actually, reach both sides.
Nice.
Probably go to the far side. So we'll crimp it in. We'll crimp it in on this wire, and we'll plug this in to the resistor there, and up to the coil.
What do you need? A female?
I got them there on the bench right
You already
there.
got that? Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll just go up here to the coil, like so. So let some paint dry and come back to putting all these together. Or you have a wire. So a little jumper wire that goes from the resistor to the coil. Like so. There's a coil right there. So we'll clean up, wait for our bracket to finish drying, and then we'll come back and we'll install the coil and get that on there. All right, so I went and mounted the coil real quick, just right here. Stock location. Said we went with a MSD blaster coil because horsepower, and I had it sitting around. And then you just use your robo grip, pliers to tighten it down. And there you go. ignition is done. I'll get you in here and show you everything. All right, so you see, got new cap rotor, plug wires, MSD blaster coils installed. Here's our ballast resistor we put in. You can see that space right there on the firewall. Looks like it was made for it. Shaped perfectly. She's in there. So having that on there should save the points from burning up. So especially with a blaster's coil, those put out a little bit more energy. So this thing would be like a hot rod. Be shooting some flames out. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
All right. So, like I said, Nick's in a painting mood. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this valve cover off. All right. So it's a Phillips number 3. What I asked for, Nick gave me a 4. I don't know.
Lies.
I don't know how you can count.
I took it. I didn't give it to you.
Some parts for you to clean up.
Those are cute.
This will give us an idea how nice the inside of the motor looks. We pull this
Sorry,
off.
I was distracted.
We distracted from
The design of the little fastener.
Nick's intrigued by the little things.
Yep.
The little things that make Nick happy.
Especially after you live in today's world long enough.
What's wrong with an LS engine?
Nothing. Enjoy the little things. Until an EMP goes off, and then lots of things.
Okay, now we're getting into that.
Yeah, see? Told you. Grab that. I'll grab the hose. Beautiful.
Bam.
Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful.
Old, you mean?
Beautiful.
Beautiful old. We'll probably check clearance of some of them.
Yep.
I think it's 15.
That's cute.
The oiler.
Yeah.
Pinched off.
Uh-huh.
To give you more oil pressure to the lower end.
Yep.
You know, that's some trick stuff.
Yeah, dude, there's some cool stuff in here.
It's got canted valves for the exhaust.
Look at this.
Here's the main oil line comes up. The rockers, it's pinched off. If it was a direct opening, it'd be no oil pressure, so they pinch them closed. But it's all on one shaft. Seemed pretty good. Like I said, we'll check the lash. I think it's. I go see what the book says it's supposed to be. I think it's 15 or 20. So we'll probably adjust. We'll check some valves. We might even adjust them. I don't know if Nick feels like adjusting them all or just.
All right, I need to get started on that valve cover.
So, like I said, this hose is going to come off too. We're going to get rid of this one. It's got a block heater. We don't need a block heater. We don't plan on driving it in the winter.
I hope not.
I hope not, anyway.
I hope that never happens.
Now, unless it's an emergency,
Yep.
you absolutely have to drive it in the winter. Alright, so I'm going to go grab the book and see what our valve lash is supposed to be on this engine. And we'll check a couple of them. See if we're close or off. If we're close, we'll probably leave it. If we're off, we'll probably readjust them. So, let me go grab the book. So, another thing to notice on these old Chevy straight sixes is when oil comes out right here, this bolt is actually shouldered for the oil to flow through and get to that hole. Because that's the oil gallery down here, and the head bolt actually transfers it through. So if you ever pull the heads off one of these, remember this bolt always has to go in the spot. If you put a different head bolt in the spot, you won't get oil to the rockers. So there's one bolt that stands out. They're all the same length, but this one's shouldered for the oil to flow through. That's one thing you gotta remember, that the oil one always goes here, or you won't have oil to the rockers. That's just a tip to remember. All right, so got a new valve cover gasket here. I'm just gonna set this on there. These ones, you don't need any silicone because the head's flat. And there's really not a lot of oil that's gonna run down the side, but it makes it easier if you don't silicone these on. Like you saw in the other one, it just come right off. And it's just a Velcro gasket, nothing special. But these ones do have a notch here in the front. That's how you can tell it goes in the front. This notch right there. Just like so. All right, so latching the valves on this, the book says to do it hot. It says intake should be 6 to 8 and exhaust is 13 to 15. It's not hot, it's cold, so there's going to be some variances. So what you can do sometimes is go to the highest one, which is for the exhaust is 15, and 8 for the intake. And you can find one like that. That's an exhaust right there. So you can take your 15 and slide it under there. You feel it's a little loose. It's probably about 16 thousandths. So since it's cold, that should be good enough. Like I said, it's on the high side, so it'll shrink up a little bit, and then you go around and find another one. That's an intake. There's an intake right there. See, there's 8 thousandths you get in that one. So
They're pretty spot on.
yeah, they're right on the money. Even this back one, I believe it was.
One of them was loose.
This one?
Yep, there you
Yeah,
go.
this one. That's is that pointing down.
Let's see. Sorry.
Is it pointing down? I mean the valve angled.
Looks like it.
Yeah, so the valve angle, that's an exhaust. So you take your 15, and it fits in there. It's about 16 or so. And then you can come over here. Here's another intake one. You take your 8. You get in there.
Just barely. Perfect.
So when it's cold, you can go on the higher side of that, and this should be pretty spot on or pretty close. And all the 5 that I checked, they're well within where they're supposed to be. So I'm pretty sure these valves are good to go. And it didn't rattle or anything when we were running it. So
No, it sounded beautiful.
the valve should be good. So we'll got the gasket on there, and then Nick's painting the valve cover, and we'll get that back on there. And we should be buttoning it back up. We'll be swapping these red hoses out to black ones too, because that's kind of tacky.
Yeah.
All right, so here's our valve cover, freshly painted satin black. So we'll go ahead and just drop this on. All right, so we'll go back together with our bolt or little Phillips screws here. You go around on the cork gaskets, tighten it till it's snug all the way around, and then wait 5-10 minutes, and then just re-snug it down. Got the gasket snug down. We'll let it sit 5-10 minutes, and we'll go around and re-snug it down. Then it should be good to go. All right, so I think we're finished under the hood for now. Tune-up's all done. Got our valve cover back on. Got the check the valve lash, they're good. Got all our heater hose replaced. Now it's all black, out of the way, not over the engine. Still have the block heater on the far side we're gonna be taking off. But we get a plug for that, and we're gonna jump to getting the fuel tank in here and getting that all hooked up. But there she is, looking way cleaner under the hood. Still more work to do, but she's looking good. right, everybody, this finishes off this episode on the 53 Chevy. As you can see, we got the front panel back on. It's all nicely painted. Redid a bunch of the radiator hoses, got them nice out of the way, tied up, cleaned up the wiring a little bit. New painted the valve cover black, flat black. Then we also got our fuel tank installed. She's looking pretty. She's all installed, looking good. So we got a sending unit that's supposed to be coming in the mail. Not sure if it's gonna get here. It should get here soon. Hopefully we don't have to throw the old one in there. We might do that just to get it by. So that finishes off this episode of Frostbite Garage. Tune into the next one where we'll get an exhaust on this thing, and I think we might do some wheels and tires because these have the split wheels on them and the tires are bad. So tune in for that one. Hopefully on that one we'll be driving on the highway because summer's right around the corner and we want to be driving this around. So stay tuned. Next episode of Frostbite Garage.